share my screen and we'll look at one together so you can sort of see what we're talking about. If anyone has any questions at any time, feel free to throw them in the chat, or if you use the raise your hand function, I can call on you, and we will get going. Alrighty.
Shabbat Shalom from us to you. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
From our family to yours, Shabbat Shalom, and have a peaceful week.
Awesome. So that's an example of kind of what we're talking about. You know, these videos are really easy to create and they don't require any additional software. So I'm excited to jump in with everybody. I use a program called Adobe Spark, which is found online. It is a free website, so anybody can go on it and make a video like this. There are some paid features available, things like branding and adding your own logo and a couple templates, but a lot of it is free, and you can do a lot with the free aspects. If your congregation uses Adobe Creative Suite, which your marketing person might, or your design person or somebody, then you already have access to those free features. But they do have, if you're really interested in going deeper into it, they do have nonprofit discounts and teacher discounts. So it's kind of worth digging into, but the free features really do a lot. You can use this tool to create short videos like I did. You can make them graphics for bulletins or for social media. And what's really nice is that they're all customizable for social media sizes. So you can say, I want this to look like a Facebook cover photo, or I want it to be the right layout for Twitter. And it will just resize things for you in a way that looks really nice. So I have shown, this is a graphic that I made using Adobe Spark that I thought would be useful for us to see some of the still graphics that we've made. And we do use this for a lot of different social media ads or things we post in Facebook groups or anything. But this is kind of what you see when you open up the program. These are all the different options that you can make: videos, collages, web pages, Facebook posts. And one of the really nice things about it is that you don't have to be married to a template, because the video one is a little separate, but you could create a Facebook post and then decide you want to use it on Instagram and just resize it. If you're creating a graphic, you don't have to really be too fussy about which kind of image you create. But if you create Instagram, it's going to be a square because that's the Instagram settings. Or a Facebook post, you'll have more options for how long to make it or whatever. But for our purposes, we'll go into the video. And then you're going to see a screen like this. I happened to pick a template that was called event organizing. So that is why you see introduce who's organizing the event. It's just a suggestion to do with a theme, but you can put whatever you want there. And then really, this is very simple. All I do is I ask congregants in advance to send me a quick little snippet of their family saying Shabbat Shalom or whatever Shabbat message they want to send. I save them to my desktop and then I upload them here. I just click video and I upload. And then you then have the opportunity to sort of trim the video or to adjust it. A lot of times people will send you something that's a little bit too long or has a little bit of extra footage in it, and it's really easy to cut it. I'll show you how. But these are really all the options you have for video, which I find is really nice. It's very simple, it's very clean. These slides can be clicked and dragged around to move. So you might decide you want some videos first or some later. It's all very, very flexible. You can change layouts to add split screens, add captions. I don't really do that. I kind of like to keep them simple, but that's an option for you. And in this case, the theme doesn't matter. As you saw, I picked one for an event invite, but there's a ton of different options and you can sort of customize based on what you want. I wouldn't worry too much about the theme. And then you have the options to add music. I think you heard the music that was playing when I played that Shabbat video. It has some built-in little cheerful ditties, or you can add your own. But if you add your own, you should be careful that some music is copyrighted and you don't want to go down that route. So I would just make sure that you have the licensing for it. You can set up a brand so that your logo displays in the corner. For example, we have a specific brand set up for our nursery school and for our early childhood program. So last summer I did a little video interview using this program. The outtakes, and I thought those were really sweet to include. This is kind of what you see when you upload a video clip. See how it's 4 seconds. These buttons in the top right corner are kind of where you're going to do most of your navigating. You have the ability to zoom in or out if you want a wider shot or a more close-in shot of people's faces. This scissors button will help you cut the footage. I didn't realize this when I started, but 4 seconds is actually a really long time. So when I asked people for these videos, I usually ask them for 10 seconds or less. And some of the clips that I put in are literally only 2 seconds. And it's just family saying Shabbat Shalom, and that's it. I try really hard to cut down all of the excess because I didn't want any dead space in between of like someone saying Shabbat Shalom and then there's like a pause before the next family goes. So I cut them closer than you might think, but you can play around with that a little bit. And then this volume button, I did not know about this feature until recently, but it's very useful for keeping their volume higher than the music. So sometimes if a clip is a little bit too quiet, you can click this volume button, make sure that the volume is on the highest volume possible, and then let them be bigger than the music. I see that there's a question. How are the families sending you the videos? I ask families in advance, about a week in advance, to send me a clip. So I email out some language that says, I'm doing this Shabbat video and I'm wondering if your family would be part of it. I'm looking for a really low-key 10 seconds or less clip, horizontal footage. They don't always give horizontal footage, and that's okay to work around, but horizontal is better. And then can you change what you see for the video image? Instead of the mom and the daughter, what if I wanted a Shabbat Shalom screen with my temple's logo? Yes, you can upload a photo, you can just do a text box, any of those sort of things. Once cut, can you return to the original? Yes, you can. So you'll see that it has kind of slider bars, so you're not really totally cutting the footage, you're just giving a window of how much you want people to see of it, and you can keep adjusting that. Someone said, what are you using to make these? And the answer is Adobe Spark. And they are emailing the videos to us. I'm going to keep going because I'm going to answer some of these questions. Let's see. Sorry, I just need to move the chat thing. Okay, so who do you want to be included in this video? Children and pets, people of different family structures, people are creative and charismatic. Someone asked, I see several Adobe Spark apps. Can you be creative about which one you use? I use spark.adobe.com, and yes, they email the videos to me. Does that reduce the quality? No, it does not in my experience. I ask people really specifically that for a horizontal video, it can be shot on their iPhone, no specific technology. It's literally just a clip. They email it to me and I put it on my desktop, and perhaps the quality is not as great as a professional shot video, but it totally works for this purpose. And I've not found there to be really any issues with quality or sound. I try to keep it really, really easy for families, especially right now when they're really focused on so much going on in the world. I don't want to put any pressure on people to create something professional. So I often say, if you could just email this to me in the next week, it can be really casual. It doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can cut it. Don't feel any pressure. And sometimes people don't want to do it, and that's okay. But often people really appreciate the casual effort of it, and they kind of come together to look really good at the end. no matter what people send you, especially if people are natural and they're laughing and they're enjoying their family. So these are some tips. You want to clip your video to only the exact audio you need. As I said, it feels really limiting to be like 2 seconds. 2 seconds actually is a really long time in a video. I keep my videos to only 1 minute or less, which sounds like a short time, but people really, in my experience, won't watch more than a minute. And the last couple seconds are usually just our slide saying Shabbat Shalom from Temple Shalom. And then volume, making sure that each clip has the volume on loud to be heard over music. This part, if people aren't super loud, that's the trickiest part, I think, is to get the sound correct, but you can adjust the sound of the music to be a little bit lower, and that will help. So my process is I gather the video, I email a bunch of congregants. Usually there's about 10 different congregants in every video, so I usually email about 15 people, and I'll ask them for a 10-second clip. The reason I email 15 is because some will say no, some will forget, and then I usually get about 10, and on the off chance that I get more than I need, I just keep them for the next week. Then I compile all the clips in a way that tells a story. I kind of rearrange the order that I want them in. Maybe I want a kid to be first or last. There's one where there's a very cute video of a kid singing Bim Bom, and that one was a good note to end on. Someone said, how do you choose who to ask for the video? That's a really good question. I like to ask a nice diverse population. So I want to have kids in every video. I want to have older people in every video. I want to have families of different structures. I want to have people of different races. And I also like to ask people who aren't usually asked for things, who maybe aren't so performative, but can really get behind just a 10-second video. So just any sort of diverse body of people. And then once I started doing it a bunch, I would include the link from the last week's video. Do you ever just put out a general ask instead of a specifically directed ask? I don't, because people usually don't listen to general asks for me. I feel like I'm generally asking people for a lot of things all the time and they don't do it. So I think a specific ask is valuable because it gets done faster, and because I think people really like the specific ask. There's something really special about someone individually reaching out to you and saying, will your family do this? I would love if so-and-so would be part of this. And part of that is being okay with people saying no. I've gotten a few people who've said, my child isn't comfortable on video, or we don't really like to do that sort of screen stuff, and that's totally fine. But I do think there's a lot of value in a specific kind and clear ask from people. And I often, this is a comfort level thing, but I give out my phone number and people just text it to me sometimes, which is easier in some cases for them than emailing a video, but that part is totally up to you. The whole video can be less than a minute. That's really important. It seems like it's a really long time or a really short time, but I promise you, people will not watch more than a minute. When I email out, I give people an example of what they want them to say. I'll usually say, you could say anything like Shabbat Shalom from our family to yours. And I noticed that when I gave out that same example over and over again, I got 10 clips that said Shabbat Shalom from our family to yours, which is not exactly what I wanted. I wanted a few that said Shabbat Shalom or Happy Passover or hope you have a great weekend or different things. So I would try to give more than one example of what people could say so that I didn't get the same exact things over and over again. I would note in the email that horizontal footage is preferable, but it's not a deal breaker. If someone sends a vertical clip, I can work with that. In Adobe Spark, the amount of a clip can only be 30 seconds. I'm talking like we're doing 2 to 4 seconds, so it's really not a problem for me. But perhaps if you needed a bigger video, that would be a limitation for you. But you could add a second clip that was the next 30 seconds, which we've done before to create like a time-lapse situation. It's just a slight limitation of the software, but it really doesn't matter for a video quite as short as this one. And then the Spark video automatically adds credits at the end that'll say like made with Adobe Spark. And I usually edit those to say Shabbat Shalom from Temple Shalom with our logo or our website. But it's just good to know that they have them at the end. And as you go through this process, you'll find yourself previewing and reshuffling and watching the video a bunch of times until you've memorized it. And then at the end, I usually do this for a couple days as the videos are trickling in. I'll add another one and shuffle them. And then when I feel like it's done, all I do is download and upload to Facebook. You could upload to YouTube if you wanted to, or anywhere else that takes video, your website. I usually just put directly on Facebook. But they're very, very easy to edit and to download. So once in a while I've downloaded and then I've gotten another clip or realized there's an error and I just go back in and download it again, and it's not a huge deal. Someone said, as opposed to a compilation of super short clips, have you tried longer videos of single families expressing more of a message? I have not personally, but it's something that I've been wanting to try. Again, they only take 30-second clips, so that is a slight limitation. So I don't know that it's not professional video software for sure. It's something that you can use as a workaround. But if you really wanted like a really professional montage or testimonials, I don't know that this is the software you'd want to use. Someone said, now that you're experienced, how long does it take you to make each one? Start to finish, when I email the families and I have all the clips, I can probably do it in under an hour, maybe even less, 35 minutes. What is the format of the video when it's done? It comes out as an MP4, so it can be uploaded into any place that takes video. These are some of the ways that you could use it. You could use it for your education programs. You could do a holiday message, a welcome to your congregation. There's a lot of different options. How many of these have you made? We did them every week for probably 2 months. But we do use Adobe Spark all the time for all sorts of other things. You've got this. So I know I just pulled out a lot of information, but I'd love to take any questions that anybody has. I'm reading the chat, but you can also speak out loud if you'd like. Do you have suggestions about getting families comfortable submitting videos? I think the more people see that other people are doing it, they feel good about it. So the very first few weeks, I asked people who I knew trusted me and were charismatic and were happy to do such a thing. And then the next few weeks, when I emailed families who I didn't know as well or didn't know would be into it, I would link last week's video and be like, this is an example of what I'm looking for. And I think it's really helpful to give people the opportunity to watch along with what other people did. Someone else said, what else do you use this for? We use it for creating graphics all the time. Anytime I want to post something on Facebook, even if it's just a message that's like, we're going to be closed, well, in the olden days, we're going to be closed for the long weekend, something like that, that I wanted people to know the office was closed. I could make a little graphic. It's just a really easy way to get any message out. I think Spark graphics often look really nice. They take a little bit of finagling, but similarly to Canva, even if you don't have any design background, it's kind of easy to create something that looks really nice. A couple people are asking if I could record this or send slides, and definitely we'll send the slides out. Do you get any kind of release from the senders? Do these videos get archived on YouTube after you use them? I don't get a release. I feel like if I'm asking people in an email for a video that's going to go on Facebook, they have the choice to either do that or not. Why do you prefer this over Canva? It's just a personal preference, really. I'm sure Canva is wonderful. I don't use it as much. I think I have answered a lot of questions, and I know I talked a lot, and I'd be happy to send this along. Someone asked for a recording, and I actually don't think that we were recording, unfortunately, but I would be happy. Oh, we are recording. That's great. I would be happy to talk to anyone individually too who's working through this and who wants some guidance. Are you using the monthly pay version? No. Well, we do have a Adobe Creative Cloud account that our temple uses, so I do sometimes log into that to get access to a paid feature, but generally I don't. There's a lot of free features. I feel there's like very few things that I can't do. Someone asked for my email address, and then yes, I will put it in this chat. And I would be happy to talk with any of you, and I'd love to see the videos that you create. If there are people that go and do different things, I would love to see what you've done with it and what we could do with it. What's the total length that a video can be? I'm not sure. I've not experimented with making very, very long ones, but at least quite a few minutes. We made a time-lapse video once for our renovation using Spark. We recently went through a building renovation, and I just played it on a loop when people came in to see the progress of the building. I think that's most of the questions, but again, I would be really happy to chat with anyone. I can't wait to see what you all come up with, and I hope that you found this useful. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and if anyone else has any questions, you're free to stay on.
Thanks so much. This was really great.
Awesome. I'm so glad.
Can you put up your email again, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Mariah says hello.
Oh, hello to Mariah.
I'll tell her you said hi.
Definitely.
Thanks so much. This was great.
I'm so glad you came. Thank you.